Namaskar. I am Dr. Aarti Chaudhary, Assistant Professor in the Department of Ancient Indian History, Culture and Archaeology at Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Banaras Hindu University. I welcome you once again in the 12-week course titled History of Science and Technology in Ancient India from Harappan Civilization to 7th Century CE. And today we are going to discuss Module 2 and Lecture 4. The title of Module 2 is Science and Technology in Harappa Civilization, and today's Lecture 4 title is Harappan Fauna. In our last class, we have discussed about the mathematical concept of Harappan civilization, their calculation knowledge, and how they explored their scientific, mathematical, and calculation knowledge to the world. And now we are moving towards the faunal awareness or faunal knowledge of the Harappan civilization. We are going to explore that. The learning objectives of this lecture is to know the Harappan fauna, to understand the category of Harappan cultural fauna, and to interpret the cultural significance of the fauna. The learning objective of this topic is to know the Harappan fauna, to understand the category of Harappan culture fauna, and to interpret the cultural significance of the fauna. In this lecture, the topic which we are going to discuss, that is faunal remains in Harappan site, domestic animals, wild animals, non-mammalian species, controversial faunal findings from the Harappa civilization, faunal evidence in economy, and faunal evidence from different artifacts. First of all, what is fauna? And what is the relevance of the faunal study? Fauna includes all living animals from insects to mammals that inhabitate a specific geographical area. Faunal studies examine animals' remains to understand biodiversity, ecological condition, and human-animal interaction in a particular climate. Hence, we are going to discuss about the relevance of faunal study in Harappan context. This fauna will reveal different kinds of information like subsistence, economy, agricultural practices at the contemporary time, environmental and climatic insights, religious and cultural significance of a particular region, trade and craft of Harappan civilization, and also the decline of the civilization. So, how much important that it is, it gives a plethora of information regarding the several aspects of the civilization. The faunal study provide essential evidence for reconstructing various aspects of Harappan society and are crucial for understanding the civilization's economy, agriculture, trade, environment, and culture. The presence of domesticated animals such as cattle, buffalo, sheep, and goat indicates their role in food, labor, agriculture, while remaining of wild animals, fish, and birds suggest supplementary hunting and fishing activities. Bones and shell were used in crafts, tools, and ornaments, and marine shell found in inland sites indicating long distance trade. The faunal analysis provide insight into the ecological conditions of the Harappan period, with the presence or absence of certain species indicating climate variations. Bulls and unicorns, like figure on seals, suggest religious or symbolic importance, while animal figurine hint at ritualistic practices. The changing faunal composition over time offers clue about environmental degradation and shift in food habits which may have contributed to the civilization's deadline. Faunal remains in Harappan sites. These tables indicate different Harappan sites on the basis of the time, the bracket of their states. In Haryana, several sites are excavated and surveyed. Just for example, Bhagwanpura, Bhirrana, Burj, Farmana, Girawad, Karsola, Lohat, Sampolia Khera, which is also called Masudpur 1, Bhimwala Joda, Masudpur 7, Mitathal, and Rakhigadi. These are the important sites of Haryana in Harappan context. From Rajasthan, Karnpura and Tarkhanewala Dera. From Punjab, it is Ropar and Bara. And from Gujarat, it is Khirsana, Lothal, Shikarpur, Surkotada, Dholavira, and Kanmer. These sites are very important in order to understand the faunal contribution, the faunal perspective, the faunal situation and condition at the Harappan times. Harappan fauna is divided into three parts for the convenience of the study. First one is domestic animals, second one is wild animals, and third one is non-mammalian species. If we want to understand the domestic animals, what found from the different Harappan site, that is about 80% of the faunal assemblage from Harappan site belongs to the domestic animals. Few of the examples are here with their scientific name like cattle, which is Bos indicus, buffalo, Bubalus bubalis, goat, Capra hircus, sheep, Ovis aries, pig, Sus domesticus, dog, Canis familiaris, cat, it is Felis catrus, ash, it is Equus asinus, horse, it is Cabalus, but it is in the controversy as well, camel, Camelus dormedarius. These are the domestic animals of the Harappan people. Now the category of wild animals. Commonly found species are deer, which is Cervus unicolor, it is sambar. Next one is Cervus duaseli, the barasingha, axis, spotted deer, and Axi porcinus, it is hog deer. In the category of antelopes, that is Cervicapra, Indian antelope or black buck, Gazella beneti, Indian gazelle, Bosilaphus tragocamelius, it is nilgai, and Tetracerus quadricorinus, it is four-horned antelope or chausingha. Again, Lepus nigricolis, it is hare, the species of hare, as well as porcupine, that is Hystricus indica. These are the Indian species which reported from the different sites of Harappans in the category of wild animal. Again, in the category of carnivorous animal, that is cat, dog, and cheetah, there are two species of cat like Felis cos, it is jungle cat, Felis libica, it is desert cat. In dog category, Kyo alpinus, Indian wild dog, Canis aureus, it is jackal, Canis lupus, it is wolf, and Echinops Acinonyx jubatus, it is cheetah. If we see the giant wild animal, then the names are different species of rhinoceros, wild buffalo, elephant, and cattle. In rhinoceros, the species is Rhinoceros unicornis. Wild buffalo is Babalus arni. In elephant, it is Elephas maximus. And in cattle, it is Bos species. If we see the non-mammalian species, then a variety of animal assemblage belonging to the family of birds, reptiles, fish, crustacea, and molluscs were reported from Harappan sites. Like in bird category, domestic fowl, it is Gallus domesticus, jungle fowl, it is Gallus gallus, and peafowl, it is Pavo cristatus. Crustacea are invertebrate animals belonging to the subphylum Crustacea within the phylum Arthropod, for example, crab, lobster, shrimp, and barnacle. In the reptiles category, it is monitor lizard, Varus monitor, crocodile, Crocodylus species, gharial, Gavilis species, turtle and tortoise also found from the different Harappan site. Trionyx gangeticus, soft-shell turtle, common in rivers. Batagur basca, river terrapin, known for its large size. There are so much categories of the turtles which have been reported from the different Harappan site. Chitra indica, narrow-headed soft-shell turtle. Kanchunga species, hard-shell turtle species, and Lysemis pancatata, it is Indian flap-shell turtle. A lots of turtle category have been reported. In fish and riverine and marine fish category, there is catfish, multiple species have been found, crabs, multiple species, snakeheads, spiny eel, marine species from Balakot coastal side. We found shark, stingray, bonyfish species, as well as Pomadesis, common marine fish, Achnathopagus species, marine fish from the sea bream family, Ergiropes, marine fish often found in tropical water, Protonibia species, possibly a species of drumfish, Aris species, marine catfish indicating coastal fishing and trade. So, a lots of fish species have been reported from the different sites. The Harappans must use these fish for their food requirement as well. In the category of molluscs, bivalves, gastropod, and scaphoids are very important. Another species, Paphia gallus species, Meretrix species, Marica ricane, Crostacea species, Acanthocardia species, Trachycardium anode, Lemmelidens marginalis. These are the different category of the species of the molluscus, as well as Turbinella pyrum, Pugilina bucephala, Chicorium ramosus, Placuna placenta, Detlius species, Pollinus didima, Agronia nebulosa. These molluscs are very important in terms to understand the economic contribution towards the Harappans, because these cells is used for the manufacturing industry by the Harappans. They made different kind of small tools and pendants and different bangles on these mollusks or these shells. So these are very important in terms to understand the manufacturing industry. From Kuntasi, we have been reported many of these kinds of cell which is manufacturing industry was situated there, and the different bangles have been reported by the archaeologist or archaeologist. One important shell species of Nerita species, which is marine shell, it is also reported from the site. Why mollusks are very important in terms to understand the faunal contribution? Because they are very slow in movement. If a gathering of specific mollusks is one situated or one finds in one place, then it indicates a stable condition of a specific climate in a time zone, because they do not move fastly. They are not like cheetah and tiger. They can run very fast and go one place to the another place. But in terms to understand the mollusks, they are stable, they are very slow, so they can give their contribution to understand the economic, not only economic but climatic change of a particular period on a particular rain. So it is very important to understand the role of mollusks in a particular time zone or in a region. Now the controversial faunal findings, yes, it is horse. The identification of true horse bones from the mature Harappan period is debated due to similarities with other equids like donkey, Equus asinus, and onagers, Equus herminius. Horse remains in Harappan context are mostly lower limb extremities and dentition, with a notable absence of other postcranial bones, while as Equus herminius bones with cut marks and tearing indicating hurting for food have been found at sites like Kuntasi, Shikarpur, Surkotda, Rojdi, and Dholavira. So the controversy of horse is still existed in the archaeology field of Harappan. There is a basic controversy because of a reason that it is very difficult to differentiate donkey and horse and onagers, because it needs a specific kind of faunal remains, a specific kind of bones. That uh, similar thing is happening with the identification of cattle. A specific bone should be found, and then we'll study it is differentiate, it will give the differentiation between the where this information like which one is cow, which one is buffalo. They are very similar, they belongs to the one family, they belongs to the one species. So the archaeologists always face this challenge. They need some specific bone to identify, confirm that this bone is basically related to the this cattle or this horse. Same thing is happening with the identification of goat and sheep. They belongs to the same family, and the archaeologists need specific bone to study to identify their identification. The camel. The presence of camel, Camellius dromedarius and Camellius bactrianus, remains in the Indus Valley civilization is also debated. Camel bones have been reported from sites like Kalibanga, Mohenjo-daro, and Dholavira, but their dating and identification remain inconclusive. Unlike cattle, buffalo, and sheep, camel are not prominently depicted in Harappan seals or terracotta figurine. Evidence suggests camel were not a primary domesticated species in Harappan society. and may have been introduced later through trade or interaction with neighboring regions. Now, faunal evidences in the economy. In the field of agriculture, Bos indicus, zebu, were commonly used for plowing field indicated by the plough field in Kalibanga and the terracotta plough found at Banavali. Numerous seals depict the zebu symbolizing its importance in farming. Buffalo figurine from Mohenjo-daro suggesting their role in agricultural labor. If we see the food habits, then it also related to the faunal evidences. Evidence shows domesticated animals were consumed. Harappa and Rakhigadi, fish bones, Lothal and Dholavira, and molluscous shell, Balakot show reliance on aquatic resources. Bones of deer, wild boar, and Nilgai, Kalibangan and Harappa suggest hunting. Cut marks on bone and burn marks indicate roasting from Mohenjo-daro and Rakhigadi. Meats and dairy products were also consumed by the Harappans. If we see the trade marks, then Indus Valley seal often used in trade prominently featured animal like bulls, buffaloes, elephant, rhinoceros, tiger, and enigmatic unicorn. These seals found in both Indus cities and Persian Gulf side suggest their importance in trade and potentially as trademarks. Camel bones have been reported from Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Surkotada, Kalibanga, and possibly from Rojdi, suggesting that the camel was an important animal for overland trade during the Harappa civilization. Marine species reported from inland also suggest long distance trade of fish and shell products. Faunal evidences from the artifacts. Seals and figurine are the ideal for this. The unicorn seal is the most commonly found seal at Indus Valley site like Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Dholavira and Lothal. Humped bull seal from Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Lothal and Kalibangan symbolize strength and trade. The Pashupati seal from Mohenjo-daro is particularly notable, depicting a three-faced horn-seated figure surrounded by an elephant, tiger, rhinoceros, buffalo, and deer, suggesting early religious practices. Crocodile and fish seal from Mohenjo-daro and Lothal represent aquatic life. Additionally, seals featuring elephants, rhinoceros, and tigers depicts complex scene reflecting the artistic and symbolic depth of Harappan culture. Animal figurine. Animal figurines are found in large numbers, apparently made as toy for children, containing some curious inconsistency like the hare with a long tail or cattle with a turned, turned catted tail. Unicorn were depicted on seals from Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. An elephant figurine with a decorated pattern was reported from Mohenjo-daro along with figurines of dog and monkey. Terracotta figurine of X-shaped bull, horn, birds and animal figurine with picked ears and wide nostril were reported from Gujarat and Mohenjo-daro. In terms to understand the Harappan fauna, it is basically we have studied the animal remains and on the basis of artifacts like the drawings, the painting on the pottery of the different faunal elements, seals and figurines, maritime and fishing activities, beads and ornaments, and agriculture and other artifacts which gives information regarding the Harappan fauna. On pottery, the Harappan pottery featured various animal motifs including ibex, antelope, jackal, bird, snake, and monitor lizard. A sherd form Harappa Mohenjo-daro depicts a fisherman carrying nets accompanied by a fish and a turtle. Pottery from Kalibanga includes representation of black buck, chinkara, a duck, and a scorpio. Gujarat potteries depict bull resembling the Kangra bull. In Harappa, goats appear in naturalistic and stylized form along with peacock holding plants. Some pots show goat with a peacock and a grasshopper, a she goat suckling her baby, and a lothal potsherd featuring two crows and a fox. So, by this slide, we can study that how the Harappan people assimilated their faunal activity, their friendship with their animals on the basis of paintings which they painted on their pottery, beads and ornaments and other artifacts. Harappan sourced molluscs such as Turbinella pyrum, Fascicularia trapezium, and Oliva species from coastal region. They were used to create bangles, beads, inlay, and decorative objects. Ivory was widely used by Harappans for intricate carving like combs, scale, gaming pieces, disc, etc. Beads made up of shell and ivory were reported in good quantity and contained animal motifs from Gujarat. In conclusion, we can say the Harappan civilization exhibited a broad spectrum of animal utilization with domestic species such as cattle, buffalo, sheep, and goat performing the cornerstone of their subsistence system, contributing over 80% of their animal protein intake. The remaining portion was supplemented by wild fauna, including mammals, birds, reptiles, fish, molluscs, crustaceans, which also held significance in the shell industry. Regional variation in the presence of wild species suggests ecological influence on animal exploitation, with semi arid species notably absent in northern Harappan site. Furthermore, evidence from the post urban period indicates a heightened reliance on wild fauna, likely driven by environmental and socio-economic factors associated with the decline of Harappan culture. So, on the basis of these information, we can say the Harappan fauna is continuing till the present scenario. The all kind of faunal remains were reported from the Harappan civilization is still in the present environment. So, we can say the Harappan fauna gives a basic information regarding the society of that particular Harappan culture as well as the decline of the Harappan civilization, where in the late phase many faunal remains are just not in the report. So, by these referencing, you can study about the Harappan fauna deeply. Let's have do some activity with this. Make a list of the wild and domesticated animals of the Harappan civilization in your own notebook along with their scientific names. It will help you to study the wild and domestic animal, their difference and their survival practices. Thank you for your patient listening. Namaskar.